senior apartment building in Detroit ends in gunfire. 4 people were shot, and there's a twist.
Yeah, one of those seniors actually tackled the alleged gunman, but he is not the one in jail. Fox 2's Charlie Langton joins us live in studio. This is a very bizarre sounding case.
I tell you, and it changes from day to day. I think I just had to redo the whole script because something just changed just a couple of minutes ago. Let me explain real quick what's going on here. Here's what we know for sure. Yes, last night at the Sheraton Plaza Senior Citizen Complex, it's on Jefferson, there was a shooting. 4 people were shot. They're in stable condition today, and that's a good thing. But police said originally that it was a loud party at a barbecue. That is not true. The residents that I talked to today, as well as the family members, say the shooting had to do with a love triangle at the senior complex. Just take a look. Detroit police originally said that the 4 people that were shot Monday night at the Sheraton Plaza Senior Citizen Apartments on Jefferson was due to a loud barbecue, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, 6 years. I know everybody. I know what's going on.
Reginald knows a lot, and he was at the shooting Monday night. So what was the reason for the shooting?
Love triangle. He said he's going to kill him, and that's what he said he's going to do.
These are 60 and 7-year-old people.
Yeah.
According to many residents, Reginald and the daughter of the love focus, the shooter was upset that Johnny, a 65-year-old woman, was dating a new man in a wheelchair and in his 70s. Monday night, the shooter, in his early 70s, took a gun and shot Johnny's new boyfriend and 2 others. And when the shooter was tackled to the ground, he dropped the gun, which was picked up by Johnny, who then shot the shooter in self-defense. You didn't go to that barbecue, did you?
No, I don't mess around.
Reginald, is this happening here?
Right, sir.
But I wanted to see where the shooting took place, so Reginald took me to the back of the apartment complex where the barbecue was supposed to have taken place. Guys, are you guys that rowdy?
No, it's grown folks over here. This senior citizens.
Yeah.
All right, this is where we supposed to retire.
Yeah.
We supposed to have a good time.
Yeah.
Drink our daiquiris.
So in total, 4 people were shot. All are in stable condition as of Tuesday. You afraid to go to these barbecues?
Yeah.
But that's not all.
Yes, sir.
Are there other love triangles in this place?
Well, it's a whole lot of things going on over whole lot of things. I'm surprised it's the first time y'all came, right?
A lot more. Stay tuned, as they say in the business. All right, a couple of...
All right, so in the city of Detroit, that's where I'm from. I post this on a regular channel. We have a love triangle at the Senior Citizen Apartments on Jefferson. So that's east side. So that's east side. So when you go downtown, you could take Jefferson off the lodge all the way there. So yeah, that's the east side or whatever. And I have some experience in senior citizen homes, which I'll explain that later in the video. Check out the current news playlist. I should have put this on my Detroit channel, but I won't. We'll keep it for this channel. So check out my Detroit channel, Mercy Sports Talk. The links in the description. All the other platforms I'm producing that is there as well too. Make sure my microphone's still on. So basically, you've seen it. One lady in the building moved on from Uncle Earl and moved on to a guy in a wheelchair. The ex got mad and, put some hot lead in him. Now, the police tried to cover it up for whatever reason. Maybe they had the wrong information. Guy went up there, did his own digging. And yeah, it happens like that. They still, it's still that way. I'll tell a story. I remember my grandmother stayed in a senior citizen apartment, so she needed assisted living, so we was helping her out. I'm gonna tell you this shit. I had this she might see this video. So I had this chick we was cool, but big booty. Like when I say big booty. So I was dealing with her. So I was like, yeah, you can come in. So she came over, we, whatever, woo. And whatever. So I had showed back up to the place with another chick, right? So she came over. And one of the residents, he was a neighbor of my grandmother on a different floor. They had moved floors for a minute. And he like, where that, right in front of the other girl. She had just passed. He like, where that one with the big old butt? I like her. I was like, yo, like, I'm like, yo, I'm like, you like hilarious, dog. You like, y'all like that shit. It was funny as hell. So yeah, they be having their own little thing going on in there. They bump cigarettes, they borrow money. You see certain women, they got their little boyfriends in there and they go clean their apartments up, and some of the guys clean. So and that's why it's important. People say it's important that you take care of your kids so your kids take care of you, so you won't end up in assisted living like that. But the fact of the reality is most people don't want to be a hindrance to their children. So you got to make sure you save for later, so you can have a nice retirement home where you can go on the golf course, you can be in more of the resort type of feel. But regardless, they still human beings. It's just like if your eggs dry up or if your wood no more, you're still a human being. So they still need their drama. They still human beings. And believe it or not, a lot of them still, sexually active in their own special in different ways. So, and they still humans. And as you get older, you get more, you hurt, especially if you live in somewhere like Detroit, especially when it get cold like that. Them old people can't stand it when it get cold. They joints. So they try to keep them apartments as hot as possible. But to be honest with you, they still live a life. Their life don't stop. They life don't stop. A lot of them, they still go to the grocery store. The van come and pick them up. They still got little boyfriends. They still need companionship. They might sit and watch a show together. They still cut each other off and move on with somebody else and backdooring and cheating and all of that stuff. So at the end of the day, a lot of the men you are who you are. If you was a jealous type when you was young and you never grew out of it, you never learned from it, you still jealous then. But to go get that iron and put some heat in the guy in the wheelchair is just diabolical. And who knows? Maybe they have some words. Maybe old buddy in the wheelchair had no idea. You know? Maybe, and you don't know. Maybe the guy that had that eye, allegedly, maybe it was to the point where he gave her some money and she ran off with the money. So it's just crazy things going over Detroit. When it's you see from the children to the senior citizens. I talked about the pool party situation on the east side, which I'm not going to no pool party on 7 Mile West, East, none of it, grass, none of that, right? None of that. I'm good. I'm good. But I talked about that on World Sports Talk channel. You can check that out. But they said the feds are coming to Detroit. So you see why. So you got, babies getting in situations. We've been a couple babies that been sent, to better places by gun violence, gun negligence. And then, you had senior citizens doing this now. Then in the midst of the grunt of it, the peanut butter on the peanut butter sandwich is that you still got the petty crimes going on, the pool parties, or the fights in the streets, or the other deletions, or homicides that's going on in the city. I mean, you've seen people racing in the city, cars flipped up downside. It's a lot of recklessness going on, and so I seen a lady on one of the Instagram pages talk about how she was homeless in DC and some of the changes that Donald Trump made that can help harm DC. And DC has been headed for gentrification. If you've been to Brooklyn, it's a lot of gentrification. Right there where the Barclays Centers was, that's where Jay-Z's old apartment complex was. If my memory serves me right, they're gentrifying the city, but also a lot of black people in the inner city are giving them a reason to gentrify your city. When you see stories like this, when you see all these crimes and people reckless on the freeway, and you see babies to old people getting caught in gun violence, you know what I'm saying? And you see children getting dropped, it's serious. You know what I'm saying? And then you seen a multitude of children get dropped. As soon as it got hot, we talking about babies. You see old people getting their iron fired on them, and then you got everything else in between. You're giving them a reason to gentrify the city. Let's focus on, it's just not like, we're productive and they built a fucking freeway through a productive black community like they did in Black Bottom, Detroit, right? Where you see 75 and Comerica Park and Detroit and the Detroit Lions Stadium. That was a productive back in the day. That was a productive black neighborhood. I'm not saying it wasn't without its crime, whatever, but that was a thriving black neighborhood. And they built the freeway right through it. The town in Georgia that was a productive all black town, they flooded it. They said that they did these things where they took things from their women, or they took it from their women and stuff. So we've seen the stories, but also today we're giving them a reason to gentrify. They just not coming in and we playing Monopoly and they mad they losing, they flipping the board, y'all giving them a reason. This is why you should focus on 2-parent households. This is why you should focus on keeping your yard clean, giving your bushes trimmed, keeping your house look the best it can look. You know, there's a reason why you want your house to look the best you look. Your neighbor can make his or her house look, or their house look good, and that increases the whole city's value and show them that okay, the city have value. And I always say this: report crimes, don't protect criminals. Also, that also jumps your property value up. That also makes the street safer for the children. But if nobody observe and report crime, y'all end up continuing to harbor. And that's pretty much what y'all are doing, harbor and protect criminals. It's the reason it is what it is. So when you got from the rooter to the tutor, from the youth to the senior citizens causing crime, and on top of that, you're not taking care of your city, y'all dropping trash. And I say this too, talking about the city of Detroit, we know a lot of these, business owners or people come from different cities around in different suburbs and different cities, and they come dump tires and they come dump trash in the city of Detroit. That's what people don't know. You see all these dumps, they wait late at night and they dump them. If you pay attention, a lot of the city of Detroit, they started to put cameras up inside your neighborhood. Y'all don't even know it, on the corners of your regular neighborhood. If you on Shell Fine and whatever, you on Linden and whatever, you on those little side streets like going up Artesian, Glastonbury, you know what I'm saying? They got cameras on in those neighborhoods now, because people, it ain't just for crime, because people are coming to the city and they're dumping their trash, their tires, their all they shit, and then they going back. You'll be like, oh, they was doing construction houses, and not Mike Illich, but Mike Duggan was doing all that, tearing the houses down. You'd think they just would be dumping their trash in some of those dumpsters. No, they dumping them in the alley. They dumping them on the street. They dumping them in the middle of the street. They dumping in impoverished neighborhoods. So it also plays a part too. So you can't really get mad at gentrification, bro, because y'all allowed it to happen. Y'all don't report crime. So y'all don't report the crime, man. Y'all don't report it. Y'all don't take care of y'all neighborhoods. Everybody, want to make children and go do what the fuck they want to do, and don't say, you know what, I made the children with Billy Bob or Susie Sue. We got to stick together and raise these children. Nobody do that. So I agree with Anton Daniels to this extent. When you talking about the victim Olympics, ain't no victim Olympics. We are the person with the gun in our hand, and we doing a lot of self-inflicted wounds. And that's just the God honest truth. But when you see all this happening from the youth to our elders, yeah, they about to come with a steamroll all you ninjas and price y'all out of the city. And really, you still gonna be priced out the suburbs. That's the great thing about it. Where you gonna go? Hey, check out the current news playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe channel, hit the link tree. You can check out my Detroit channel, my Free Game 89 channel, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Instagram, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, X, Amazon, the whole 9 piece.